It's probably a little bit petty to take different publishers' deluxe editions and special editions and pit them against each other to see which one is better, but in today's video, that's exactly what I intend to do. Now, right up top, I will say this is not an exhaustive list by any stretch of the imagination. This just happens to be the ones that I own in my personal collection here. So there are going to be some pretty popular trendy things that some people own, like the Brandon Sanderson leatherbounds and stuff like that I just don't have. So they're not going to be here. Also, I'm in a slightly unique position to make this list currently because I'm just small enough that I've never been sent anything ever by a publisher. I have been sent things by patrons and subscribers and even self-published authors, but I've never been sent anything ever by a publisher themselves. Everything that you see here, I bought myself with my own money, so I have absolutely zero conflicts of interest in any of this. Not that a booktuber who has been sent a bunch of books by publishers is incapable of making this list. They would just have various conflicts of interest, especially if one publishing house in particular sent them books like on the regular. It would be a little bit more difficult to be completely unbiased and being like, no, that one's trash and that one's the best. See that one, you know, that guy that's anyway. Also, I'm going to do this video in reverse order from best to worst because that adds suspense and tension to the video. You're like, oh no, which one's going to be the worst? Whereas if I were to do it in the reverse order and be like, oh, building up to the best one, there is no suspense because we all already know what that answer is. There is no other answer other than the Folio Society. In my entire imagination, I cannot picture a company doing a better job of the deluxe edition than them. This is the gold standard, period. The art quality, the build quality, the display, the presentation, the slipcases, from the art that comes inside to the way the books are made and bound and the thickness of the paper, the quality of the paper, the quality, build quality, everything is just absolutely stunning. Even from the expensive ones, which come with printed slipcases and everything like that, all the way down to the cheaper ones, let's put that in quotes, that just come with the plain unprinted slip covers. Even those are just, they don't miss a beat. They are the best, highest quality book I have ever seen in my entire life. Unless there is some amazing company out there doing God's work in publishing, I can't imagine a better book than these. If there is, let me know. I will at least look into them. I don't know if I'll buy one, but I'll check it out at the very least. Next up being my second favorite deluxe edition of all time, and this is going to be kind of a quality and a personal preference thing. Of course, there's so much personal preference baked into this list, it's kind of crazy, but I'm going to go with the Dark Horse Deluxe editions for manga, and these are just so stunningly well made. Once again, stunningly well made. Build quality is next level, page quality is next level, the art, the printing, everything in these is so well done, and then the extra size in the art and the pictures for something like a manga is just so nice and so welcome to have versus the little paperbacks. I know some people like the travelability of the little ones, but these things are just so stunningly well made and well put together. If you have a particular set or series or manga that you love and it comes in like a deluxe edition, I can't recommend them enough. They are so nice, not only to read but just to have on the shelf. Display purposes, I don't know. I'm a collector, so collecting and displaying and having something nice on the shelf is something I appreciate. Just sitting here in a room full of beautiful books kind of brings joy to my soul. That is not the case for everybody, so bear that in mind as well. Next up, we're going to go with the Easton Press publishing house, and these are another one. This is a leather-bound book. Everything they do is leather-bound, and it's unique, different sizes and shapes, and they'll have like the gold sprayed edges and little ribbons, and this is another one that comes with a just astonishingly well done build quality, print quality, paper quality, everything like that. It is just stunningly well done, and it's that classic leather-bound look. It's the Easton Press, and they do not disappoint. Once again, build quality. I must state that one with this particular company. Very, very well done. When I was younger, would have thought that leather would have been like the gold standard for books. Like, it doesn't get better than a good leather bound book, right? I have been proven wrong by Folio. It's cloth. Cloth is the best. There's no better feel in the hand than a good cloth bound book. It's better than leather. I will die on that hill, but leather's great too. Next up is going to be the typical anniversary edition of a book. There are so many companies that do this. I'm going to kind of lump them all together, but you have something like the Snow Crash or Leviathan Wake's got an anniversary edition, or the most booktuber book you've ever seen. Every shelf seems to have it on a forward-facing display for some strange reason, and that's Dune. Get up there, Dune. Stop. Anyway, these are your typical anniversary edition of a book, and it's just really a reprinting of a hardcover edition with some fancy art. You're going to have the fancy art on the inside pages. You'll normally have something on the naked hardback, like this one has Fear is the Mind Killer, which is brilliant, let's be honest. But it's just, like I said, it's pretty much, as far as quality is concerned, it's a typical quality book, but you just get a bunch of little added fun features like the inside of the dust jackets or the inside of the pages or the naked hardback. Everything's just taken up a little bit. There's a little bit of polish and a little bit of excess added to pretty much every single corner of the book. Every single aspect of it gets just a little boost and a little bit of extra added attention, making them really nice to have, to read, to hold, to put on display. I really have not found one that I don't like. For the most part, whoever's in charge of those anniversary editions tends to do a pretty darn good job, even though at the end of the day, the build quality is pretty typical. But then again, the price tag is pretty typical as well. You might have a little bit of a premium that you have to pay to get one, but it's not going to be a whole lot. Next up after that one, I'm going to have to go with the Barnes & Noble leather-bound edition. Now, Barnes & Noble will have like entire tables of these set up when you walk into a store. And they're going to have these leather-bound books. They're all going to have these sprayed edges. This just happens to be H.P. Lovecraft, but they're going to have all different kinds of them. Now, these are pretty much, well, maybe not quite as premium as the Easton Press feeling in the hand, but they're going to come with nice little artwork and pages and highly glitterified and shiny surfaces. That's what actually drags them down for me. They tend to be a little gaudy on the display. Like, you go and walk into Barnes & Noble, see a table full of these things, it's going to be like you're going to need sunglasses from the reflection of all of these ridiculous foil covers that they have. So if that's your thing, this might be your gold standard. This might be the best of the best for you. But for me, the fact that they are so overly gaudy is actually kind of drags them down on the list a little bit, even though they are leather bound and they are well made. I can't take that away from them. Now, last but not least, this is the worst of the worst of the worst of all of the deluxe editions that I own. And I do want to say that there's going to be a little bit of a caveat to this one, so don't hang me right off the bat in the comment section when you see me pull it out. And it is the broken binding. Now, hear me out. I only own one set of broken binding books, that is the Dandelion Dynasty. So there could be other sets or different varying levels of quality that you get from the broken binding that gets better and better, and there's like different levels of their production value that I'm unaware of because I only have the one set. But what I can say is this set disappointed me greatly. When I received it, I was genuinely shocked at the poor page quality and the poor build quality of these books. I like to face my books kind of outwards, forward facing on the shelf. I have a lot of them back there. And if you do that to this set, eventually within like a 24-hour period, you'll come down and your book will be on the floor because it doesn't have the rigidity to even stand up on end. It's kind of crazy. Like, I have these little things. that I have for like my paperback books that I'll stick in there so that I can have a knick-knack next to it and it'll hold it upright. I have one of these to hold up my broken binding books because if I just set them on the shelf, they will flop over because they don't have the strength to stand up as a hardback for more than like 6 hours. It's wild. Anyway, that being said, I will also say that people always brag about the naked hardbacks, like of their broken binding books. This is the most basic ass book I've ever seen. It might be less, it not even might be, it's lower quality than a standard typical anniversary edition. So the fact that an anniversary edition is just light years ahead of this one, there's nothing on the inside of the jacket, nothing on the book. We're lucky we got art in here at this point as far as I'm concerned. So, like I said, considering that people will hold up broken binding books that have all this stuff to them, maybe there's like 2 different types of broken binding books. The nice ones and then the cheap ones that they send out. But this is super cheap. I was super disappointed in both the presentation and the quality, the build quality. Everything about this is subpar. And it's just, I was shocked at how, which one of these is better? This one is 100% better quality book than this one. And that I don't feel like should be the case, especially with how much praise these things get online. To be honest, there have been several times that I wanted to order more broken binding books so I could have a more nuanced opinion on the quality of their production and their value and all of that. But then every time I look at them and I remember what I have here in my actual library, I just go, maybe later. Like I said, I only have the one set, and it very well could be like a 2-tiered system. These are the like kind of more mass market, and these are the quality ones. I don't know. But what I do know is I am just not inclined to order more books from their company after having that as my first experience. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Is there any deluxe edition that I missed that you love, that is your favorite, or what is your ranking? Or are you really mad at me for putting broken binding on the bottom because I feel like I'm going to get some hate for that? Anyway, everybody, as always, the link for my Patreon's in the description below. The link for my Discord's in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.